not often that you can see your own shadow on the seabed.
Hello and welcome to Sicily. We're about an hour away from Palermo. We're sailing, and we've done quite a lot of sailing the last couple of weeks. A whistle-stop tour of Sardinia. Unfortunately, I'd love to have stayed there longer. Beautiful clear water, wasn't it?
Yeah, we stayed just a couple of days in a bay that's got the clearest water we've seen, and it was combined with a rock-hard bottom. It was like concrete, so it's the best place to test out our new anchor. So keep watching, see how that went.
And we went to Mahon, a couple of days there. Fantastic city. Enjoy the film. Coming up, night crossing from Menorca to Sardinia. Taking a trip down the river on a paddleboard. And this must be the clearest water in Europe. Our journey begins in Mahon, the beautiful capital of Menorca. And it's buzzing.
I'm ready to lay it on the line, yeah.
The closest anchorage is a good 2 miles out from the town, behind the Royal Navy Hospital. It fits about 30 boats, and you're only allowed in the main harbour in stormy conditions. So it's a good thing we had the dinghy. Mahon Harbour itself is one of the longest in the world. It has 3 marinas and several floating pontoons, but at this time of year they are all very expensive. The octagonal saffron island, dominant in the middle, was built by the British to dock up to 8 Navy ships at once. The Spanish, who now control the port of Mahon, have renamed the island Isla Pinto. We are keen to explore the beautiful coastline north of Menorca. It looks fantastic on the map, and even better in real life. Small towns and villages where everyone, it seems, has a boat, and in the summer, evenings are spent on the beach. We spend a couple of days going in and out of various anchorages, some of them more difficult to negotiate than others. It's a bit of a zigzag, and in places not very deep. The channel is well marked in the summer, not always in the winter, I'm told. And oh yes, you'll be pleased to see our dinghy is safely on deck. Lots of little marinas outside your home. Perfect. The coastline is beautifully rugged with plenty to explore. There are also a couple of inland streams best visited by canoe, or in our case, a paddleboard. The beach looks lovely where we're going, and also there's a river just behind the beach which we're going to try and row up. Oh, there's a party boat even. Woo! Only depth for one on the paddleboard over the sill.
Well, there are times when the SUP is definitely the best way to travel. It's about a mile apparently that you can go up here, it says in the pilot book. It's beautiful, it's green, the water's a bit murky, but there is a possibility, they say, We're seeing turtles, so we're keeping an eye out. I think it's probably just a fish. The only other thing you can hear apart from the cicadas is the sound of munching from fishes. There's one just here, but you can't quite sneak up on them.
The real beauty is in the stillness of the water, and everything is so lush, like being in the jungle. Eventually we get to the end and have to turn around, and unfortunately on this occasion, no turtles.
And I think that's probably as far through as we're going to go without the machete. Is there room to turn around?
The must-see place in Menorca is Fornells, another natural harbour well protected with an impressive small town. A good place to anchor, we think, for our last couple of days in Spain before heading out to Sardinia.
So we've got the good old-fashioned pilotage method coming down the channel. Just line the two towers up and we come into Fornells, which is just there.
Fornells is a busy playground harbour, just a small place allocated for anchoring. We're sailing through the mooring field at the moment because we've had to anchor way over there. We were told we couldn't go anywhere else. There's just one little area left for people who want to anchor.
Yeah, it's sort of becoming like that a bit, the Med, putting more moorings in all over the world, I think, really. But you can still anchor here for free. You just have to be beyond the island. There's Posidonia grass to deal with as well, which you get in the Balearics a lot, so you can't anchor on those. The pilot it was out of date. It said you could anchor over there, now you can't. But it's okay, we've got a spot and we can get into the marina here and hopefully get some provisions for our crossing.
Exactly, it's the first time we've been able to get provision since we've got this dinghy actually, or do more than just the odd bag.
Yeah, it's a bit far in Mahon to get to the shops and back. It's about a 4 mile round trip. That's the only anchorage there, it was way outside. So yeah, we're better off here. We'll have a little look. Oh, there's a fuel dock as well.
Yeah, I don't think we need fuel this time.
No, maybe water.
Water.
We'll see.
Good plan. The town really is pretty, and for the first time this summer, I feel Spain is properly back on holiday. The shops are open, restaurants are full, and there's a sense of optimism.
So we've just about managed to get our provisions and things done for the trip, haven't we?
We have. We are ready to go. Sorry to leave Spain.
Yeah, sorry to leave this place. It is beautiful.
Yeah,
We've had a wander around. We would like to have seen more of it.
But we are now going to Italy, which is going to be a whole new adventure. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, so am I. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, that is the beauty of Europe. You know, you go from country to country, different cultures, different food. So yeah, it's going to be lovely.
Our last night in Spain this season.
Getting ready to leave, and there's actually a bit of breeze, so that's very good news. The weather forecast isn't brilliant and we're a bit behind with our clearing up. If you can see, one of the reasons is this. I tried to put a new eye in that halyard yesterday. That's what happened to it, the one that came down in the last episode just underneath the cliff, and I found this was the halyard that was on the boat when we bought it, and it's this odd twin core stuff, but the actual Dyneema core is not woven. It's like that. So I mean, normally you'd strip the inner core out, this bit, and then when you splice it, weave that back through, but I've got no idea how to splice this stuff. So if anyone does and knows a link on YouTube, please let me know and I can do that. At the moment I've just got it tied up with a halyard hitch up there as it's just our spare now, but yeah, we need to have it. The other thing that went wrong yesterday was the inverter died. The inverter is what gives us the mains power for the whole of the boat. It's a big unit in the engine room, and yeah, there's nothing I can do. It's completely dead, but it's not the end of the world, because actually we do pretty much everything off of 12 volt, even chargers for laptops and things like that. We have ones with cigarette lighters here, and I have got a little spare unit here. Little inverter that'll get us out of trouble. Judy's just making the last of the internet, are you?
I am sending the last emails before we go out of range, telling people we won't be back in range over the weekend,
yeah.
Just in case they care. We should be there. I'm saying Tuesday. I know you think Monday, let's see.
Yeah, Judy's been a bit pessimistic. We're not going to get much wind at all on Sunday, we know that, but we will get there sometime on Monday. It takes about 48 hours to get across normally, and normally you leave about lunchtime to make sure you get there in daylight, but we'll leave earlier just to make the most of this little bit of breeze now, and get there probably Monday afternoon, Monday night.
We started out with enough wind to sail, but by sundown, as predicted, the wind dropped. But what was not predicted was the swell. I have no idea where that came from. That sometimes happens in the Med.
It's been a pretty quiet night. Still rolling around a little bit. The swell has persisted. The wind has long since gone. So we've got no sails up, we are just motoring along, which is a bit of a pain, but it's lovely just lying back here in the cockpit and looking at the stars. I wish this camera could show you the view that you get from here. I do probably just about pick this up. This is Venus, the point of light here. Actually, as that came up above the horizon, I thought it was a ship on the horizon. It looked like a mast light. Didn't come up on AAS. In fact, there's only been 2 or 3 ships come up on AAS, and they've been 35 miles away, so I haven't actually seen them in real life. But there's a little bit of light on the horizon now. Dawn probably about an hour away. Going to just listen to a bit of music and watch the sun come up.
Just before sunrise, the wind came up and so did the sails. And for the next 24 hours, we had perfect conditions. It looks like we'll be able to go through the night, which would be lovely. We're heading in the right direction as well for once. We had to go quite a lot south during the course of the day. The swells dropped, thank goodness. I'll show you a bit more of the sea. That's the sea we like, as opposed to the horrendous swell we had yesterday. That does make all the difference, really, if you're sailing slowly, which we certainly are. We arrive in Sardinia at dawn, take down the sails, and the first thing that hits us is the smell of pine. Then came the incredibly clear water.
It's not often that you can see your own shadow on the seabed.
First a snorkel and my first attempt at diving. Something to work on. Also, this is the perfect place to test our new anchor. Yes, we can reveal that we have a new ultra anchor, and with a rock-hard seabed, this is a great place to put it through its paces. And to film it, of course. And here's how we spend the day. At first, Steve tries to hammer the GoPro into the ground on a stake, but the bottom is so hard, it just kept falling over. Then we decide to weigh the stake down with a chain in a bucket, but the camera floated away and we lost it. Looking for a camera in the ocean.
Nothing?
I think we may be going slightly mad. But several hours later, Steve found it and we try again. This time the camera is tied on tight and we just have to make sure it's pointed in the right direction. Then line us up and drop the anchor. Easy. And then turn to reset. We're planning a video about anchors later in the season. What I can say is we're pretty pleased with the Ultra. Then it was time for dinner and an explore. So we're coming down the channel here, past all the blue and white boats. It seems to be a thing here, painting your boat blue and white.
Yeah, they're lovely old wooden fishing boats. It's really nice to see. There's loads of them.
I think there's quite an active fishing industry here, judging by the boats that are around. We saw a couple out, didn't we, when we were coming in?
Yeah, like normal, they tend to go out at dawn. So we were coming in at dawn, so there was a little bit of an exodus from here. But yeah, it's surprising, there's so many of them just tucked away around this corner. You don't see them from the bay. It's a beautiful little place. And even in here, absolutely stunningly clear water. You see everything.
And the smell of pine.
Yes.
Really strong.
Yeah, we could smell the pine like about 4 or 5 miles offshore as we came in at dawn. You could just have this smell of pine. It's absolutely lovely. I think this is the restaurant we're going to. Is in here with something on No Foreign Land. So let's see if we can fit the dinghy in somewhere. I think there's a gap up there. Yep, the Blue Marling Taverna.
Cool. We're told this is a fantastic fish restaurant. And I expect it is.
Italian food is brilliant, always, even if it's not pasta. So we've gone for swordfish, and it's not pure Italian.
It is, they're Italian swordfish. And we've gone for some salad and some chips.
And Judy's already had her Aperol, so that's your Italian fix for the night.
I have Aperol, I love it, it's so good. But we are going to have maybe a glass of wine?
Yeah, I think, yeah, Vino Blanco.
Okay, good. Porto Pino is the name of that bay, a really lovely place. I could have stayed there all week.
Yeah, it was great, but we are on a bit of a mission to get to Venice. That's why we're still doing these while we're sailing. No time to stop and film. But we did, while we were there, have a little play around in the dinghy. And a lot of people have written in and were asking on the dinghy test that we did the week before on the new dinghy, what outboard we've got. Well, there is a test on that. It's an Aquamot outboard. It's good, strong engines made in Austria. They've been making them for 20 odd years, well, inboard engines. They're now making these outboards. There are a few things that are starting to come up, design issues with it. I put something in the original test with the kill cord that really wasn't up to spec, and that did die within 2 weeks. And there's now a problem with the gator as well. So yeah, just watch out for that, and we'll keep reporting on how these things go, these products go. We'll see how good their customer service is.
The other thing, of course, that's come up this week is the issue of adverts coming up halfway through, well, several times through the videos. I've taken most of them out, but it's the new way that YouTube are paying us, I'm afraid, so I can't take them all out.
But you can still see the videos advert-free on the Patreon page. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you very much to our patrons.
Thank you very much for watching.